Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Linda and joining me on the show tonight is Port Bear and Billy. Evening, guys.
How we doing, Linda? How we doing, Billy? Massive week ahead.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Evening, Linda. Evening, Port. Can't wait, mate. I'm counting the minutes off the clock for now to Wednesday.
How's the excitement levels, Port?
Oh, incredible, Linda. Absolutely incredible. Lucky way the week's fell in because I'm off work for the next 4 days, so 2 days holiday for the final as well, the weekend. So massive week, Linda, as a Rangers fan. Probably going to be one of the most monumental weeks of certainly my Rangers supporting life anyway, and I'm absolutely buzzing. Had to calm my man down this morning, disappointed a wee bit though, because he 7:20 this morning. He thought me want to drive to Liverpool, 73 years of age.
Oh, you've got to admire his spirit, eh?
Yeah, incredible. To me, that says it all. When he done that this morning, that's just what it means to Rangers fans all over the world, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And Billy, yourself, you climbing the walls yet, or are you still on the ceiling?
Oh, listen, as I said before, I've been getting at the dreaming for the Dortmund game, and I'll just be like the rest of yourselves, eh? You can touch it. We can virtually just touch this now, eh? And it's what a buzz it is for this to happen. Like, you know, it's fantastic stuff. I just cannot wait for Wednesday coming.
Okay, absolutely. So we have obviously got a massive week ahead for everybody. You know, Rangers, the club, the players, the fans. And starting with the Europa League final on Wednesday. Yes, the Europa League final. You've got to pinch yourselves, haven't you? But we did have a game on Saturday against Hearts. So Bridge isn't with us tonight, but we're going to hear a view from Billy about the game, and then Port, I'll bring you in and we can have a wee chat about it, and then we'll just see where it takes us, because we've obviously got lots to talk about. So let's hear a view from Billy.
Right, folks, here we go. Well, Rangers were away to Hearts for the final game of the season on Saturday the 12th of May. It was a much changed lineup, with 3 young guns given the chance to impress from the start and what looked like to be a 4-3-3 formation. Rangers started the game very well, and in the very first minute, Scotty Arfield had a shot blocked from outside the box. Unlucky Scotty. Then in 7 minutes in, Scotty had another pop at goal this time, and he hits the target, only to see his saved well by Gordon in the middle of the goal. 17 minutes in, Stephen Davis this time. Davo has a wee shot for a difficult angle, and it unfortunately just misses to the right-hand side. Then in 24 minutes, the breakthrough, but not as we would have liked it, as Hearts take the lead by a right foot shot that goes into the bottom left corner to beat McLaughlin. 1-0 to the Hearts. Hearts hold their lead for barely 9 minutes until a lovely corner taken by young gun Alec Lowry sees the forgotten man Cedric Itton head home from a close range cross. 1-1. Rangers back in it. A minute to half time, and we take the lead for the second. We take the second. It was a minute to half time, I do apologise, and we score the second. Aaron Ramsey picks out young Lowry, and the young gun collects the ball, a wee twist and a turn, and sends in a great curling shot past Gordon in his far left corner. Brilliant goal. 2-1 to the famous. We got in at half time, 2-1 up. The second half starts, sees a change right away when young Charlie McCann comes on for Scotty Arfield. Then in 61 minutes, Rangers bring on Jack Simpson for Liam Balogun. Then in 70 minutes, Charlie McCann has a pop at goal. Unfortunately for a kid, it goes high and wide. Unlucky son. 71 minutes sees Rangers make another change, with the silky Stephen Davis going off to be replaced by young gun Tony Weston. 81 minutes, goal to Rangers, scored by young gun Cole McKinnon, who fires a brilliant right foot shot in at the bottom left corner, assisted by the young kid Ross McCausland. 88 minutes sees young gun Tony Weston, very unfortunate to flash a header just past the post. Unlucky son. And full time is blown, sees the Rangers run out of 3-1 winners, with a number of the young guns getting a good chance to impress the Gio and his staff. And that is a view from Billy.
Thanks for that, Billy. Really good summing up of the game. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. So, Port, I don't think we were surprised at the number of changes. It was to be expected with what's coming up.
No, Linda, I think Rangers started with a very youthful team, with an eye clearly in the Scottish Cup and a European final, mate. I think, the goals threatened Lowry and McKinnon. Lowry obviously being a standout, and his goal was obviously a standout of the match for me as well. So I think, basically, to see the young boys on the pitch, I love to see that, guys, finally with a Pathlander from, the Auchenhowie. That's something I've been screaming for a number of years, and I know it takes time to produce youths, but it looks like we've got a few, more than I originally thought, coming through. They could save the club millions in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually quite enjoyed the game. I mean, you don't really know what to expect. It was obviously the last game of the season, Billy, and but they have done all right in a couple of games before that. So, and some of the young boys had been given a chance as well. But it was actually quite an entertaining game, wasn't it? And Hearts had quite a reasonably good team out. So you don't want to look too far ahead to next weekend. But certainly I thought it was a very good game to watch, considering that there wasn't really anything at stake.
Aye, that's right, Linda. I mean, it was great to see the young laddies all coming on. And getting a chance to impress, as I said, Gio and his background staff, because it can only be good for them. And listen, these young laddies they're going to make mistakes, but listen, we'll give them time. If they want to make a mistake, they'll make a mistake, but they'll learn from it, and that's a good thing about it. Plus, there was a sprinkling of experience in there as well, with the likes of Stephen Davis. So I thought Gio got his starting 11 plus his substitutes bang on again. And as you correctly said there, we've got with one eye on Wednesday night and one eye on Saturday. So I thought it was a great performance by the Rangers on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. In Port, what did you think of Ramsey's appearance, and did you think that he did anything that would maybe hint at a starting place on Wednesday, or do you think he's still looking to maybe come off the bench?
No, his talent and his undoubted class, Linda. There's a reason I think he got 60 minutes. I've got a wee sneaky suspicion, mate, that he could start on Wednesday. I've seen a lot of media work done today as well. He's a big part of the media done, and usually that sort of gives you a sign when people involved in the media stuff during the build up to the match. There's usually a lot more in it, you know what I mean? So I'm just thinking maybe is Roof not going to be maybe quite fit enough to make a start, so they may have to start with Aribo in the false 9, and that will obviously lay a space for Ramsey in the midfield along with Jack and Lundstrom. That's just an idea I've got in my head, but Aaron Ramsey and Steve Davis, like Billy touched on, having them two along with Balogun, the amount of caps they've got just for them three alone, and Arfield as well, under may I add. I mean, you're talking well over excess of 250 caps. I think they're between 4 players, sorry. So to get them in amongst them young guys should be feeding off all them players with, the most capped player in Britain, Davis, and then Aaron Ramsey, I think, is not far behind him either, over 100 caps. So I think the young guys need to plug into these older heads and, take as much information, watch how professional they are training, watch how professional they are at training ground, etc. And you'll not go far wrong, Linda, if you listen to the two guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose, Billy, as well, it was a wee bit of a balance. We had to make sure that we still got some minutes in the guys that, even if they don't start, they're obviously going to be on the subs bench, and if they're called upon, they need to be ready and good to go. And also, giving some of the young guys a run out again.
That's right. I mean, it's all about the old days, like when it was just a starting 11 and one or two subs. I mean, they're all a thing of the past now. It's about a squad. Obviously, you're going to have your players in the team that is going to be stick on starters every week, like, for just being consistently playing well. But it's good. It's good as well, that can happen, because it keeps everybody sharp and it keeps everybody fresh and it keeps everybody on their toes, and it's healthy competition for not just experienced players, but it's healthy competition for the young laddies as well, because they'll be saying to themselves, well, wait a minute here, we're going to get a wee chance here. I'm going to do my best to try and impress the gaffer. Some of them are maybe a wee bit far away for doing it on a regular basis, because they're still learning, as Port said, but they can only get better, and it's good, and it's healthy for the squad as well. Plus, it gives the manager a healthy question to see who he's going to do and what he's going to do with this and what he's got to do with that,
Yeah, in Port, we don't want to get too carried away with the youngsters, because we've got to make sure that we don't put a lot of pressure on them. But it's definitely evident the fact that playing in that Lowland League has benefited them, because I'm not saying that they haven't looked at a place, because they've still got work to do. But obviously we've been talking quite a lot about King, and we've been talking about Lowry, and I know Ox has said that he thinks King's maybe further ahead than Lowry. I thought Lowry played really well, and I thought he was better on Saturday than what he was midweek. He didn't try a lot of fancy things this time. I thought he stuck to the basics and he scored a beautiful goal. But King has looked really good as well, slotting in at that left back, and it's not his natural position.
No, definitely. He's definitely shown experience, Linda. I think if you remember back, he played right back in a few games, in cup games. He's played left back, he's played centre back. So he's shown his versatility along that back line. And I even think he's good enough, because he's a lovely footballer, to even play, at the base of your midfield. I think King could play there easily, because I'm a bit like Ox. I think he's slightly ahead of Lowry, because I'm saying that probably in my opinion, it's due to his body shape. He looks more of a man at the moment than Lowry does, and that's the only reason. I'm not talking about technical ability or ability on the ball. I'm talking about the physique. He's further ahead than Lowry physically at the moment, and that's the only difference. Which you have to be as a centre back. I think King potentially next season, Linda, could be one of the four at centre back. I really do. That's how far I think this boy's came.
Yeah, I think you're right, and as you said earlier, we've got to create a path for them. We've got to show them that there is a way of getting into our first team, if they're good enough, obviously. But what would be the point of I'll just bring Billy back in, what would be the point, Billy, of going and buying somebody who's maybe just going to fill the bench or be a squad player at centre-back, when we've got King, who's actually, shown that he can step in for us?
That's right. It doesn't make any sense, really, does it? You could maybe say to yourself, well, you bring a pair in just because you want. Maybe some managers like 2 and 3 players for each position, no matter if it's full back, centre half or centre forward. Do you know what I mean? So you've got plenty covered there. But I'm all for it. I'm singing off the same song sheet as Portlander. I love to see the young laddies coming through, because they're working hard, and they're working hard for a young age, and they're scraping about the edges of the first team, and there's some of them there. It's not just giving the manager something to think about and just catching his eye. And as I said before, it's healthy and it's great. It's great for the young laddies to come through like that. It's brilliant.
Yeah. In Port, the goals that we scored against Hearts, we're talking about the Scotland goalkeeper here. We're talking about somebody who was I think he was the Football Writers Player of the Year. It's Big Said's first goal. The first goal we scored by Itten was obviously a good header into the bottom corner. But the 2 finishes from the young lads were top drawer, weren't they?
Indeed. Lowry's corner to the front post is taken out basically. Hearts set up along the edge of the 6-yard box, and he's curled into it on the front post, just over the front. The guy's marking the front post, Linda. Right on his head. Hitton's not had to really move. He just stooped and put it away. Great finish. And Lowry's run for the second goal, the 1-2, puts him back in. And the fact his feet were so quick, Linda, to take it from his left foot to his right foot, all in one motion and just roll it. I mean, just stroke it past Gordon. As you said, Scholar International, Player of the Year, fantastic finish, and it gets that finish because they take it so early. And then young Cole with great work down the side with McCausland, taking it to the defender, squaring it for his mucker, and again, he's not even looking at the goal, Linda, he's sort of side onto the goal, and again, in one motion, he's taking it and putting it in the opposite corner where he is. Great finish, experienced looking finish. So well done to young boys, Linda, very, very, very well done.
Yeah, and Billy, when the young boy McKinnon scored, he went and did the knee slide to the Rangers fans, and it's just what you love to see, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic.
It's a dream come true for these guys. You know what I mean? We're all dreaming. We all dreamt when we were growing up that that's what we wanted to do, is play with the Rangers as well. Because that's our first and only love. And to see the young boys get in there and scoring and running into the support man, it's Roy the Rover stuff. And listen, long may it continue. Because it's brilliant to see. So it is.
Fantastic, yeah. So we're going to start building up to talk a wee bit more about what's coming up this week, and doesn't need any introduction. We've seen obviously the team jetted off today, and all the fans are starting to make their journeys. So we'll get the phone lines open, and we'll get the callers in and see what they want to talk about. Does that sound like a plan?
Oh, superb. Get them in.
Yep, definitely, pal.
So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So we've also got a wee interview with our captain, and Fox is just getting that ready, and we're going to play that, and then obviously we've got the phone lines open and we'll get the callers in. So this guy, if anybody deserved to lift this trophy on Wednesday night, it's this guy, James Tavernier.
It's going to be a dream come true for me personally. Being a player to lead, not just a team, but this club and this team out. They're an exceptional group of boys who are in there, and I couldn't be more prouder to be walking out with them come Wednesday night. I think a lot comes into the mix. It's 50 years since the last time we won a European Cup, and it's 150th anniversary. And obviously we've had the sad passing of Walter and Jimmy. So I think the whole emotions together, it comes in a big mix where you want to make everyone proud, the club, whoever's affiliated to the club, and the ones that are obviously looking down on us.
Do you mention that as a captain in terms of the club itself and the people that you've lost and what this is going to mean, or do you not need to?
That's the thing. I think what group of boys we have in there, they all understand, they all know what it means to be a Rangers player, and what it means to have those people who had a big impact on all of us and even before us. That's why I'm exceptionally proud to obviously lead these boys, because everyone understands what it means to wear the shirt.
When you go back to the very start, the Challenge Cup against Hibs at Easter Road, your debut, you scored a great free kick, but to think now you're going to be playing in a European final, how do you sum that all up? It's been a long old journey. It's been a long journey. Some would say I'm part of the furniture now, but I've said it's had its ups and downs, but over the years where we've progressed as a club and as a team, this is the places where you want it to be. You look in the trophy room, you look at how many trophies that are numbered on the walls. This club's known for success, and this is where that was my my challenge when I came here. I wanted to be part of that and part of winning trophies, and we put ourselves in a great position now for Wednesday night to win a European Cup, and I think that'll be everyone's dream in that dressing room, and obviously every fan's dream. You're the top scorer in this competition. What does that sound like? Sounds crazy. But obviously had a few penalties and a few moments at the back post. It's one of those where I've always said that I'm always out there to help the team the best way I can. If it's clean sheets, goals or assists, and I've managed to pop up at the back post a few times, and the lads have
obviously done well to buy penalties in the games and have managed to convert them. So hopefully we can keep a clean sheet Wednesday and hopefully it can be top goal scorer in the competition.
Tell us about the challenge that lies ahead.
We know Frankfurt are obviously a very good team. They've knocked out Barcelona and West Ham, which are strong oppositions, and you could consider being favourites. We don't look too much of what the league's saying for them because, they've earned the respect to be in the final of this competition. So we've got to respect them, and they'll obviously pose threats. And, come Wednesday night, we'll try doing our utmost best to get the win that we want and try and nullify whatever threats they have.
There's maybe two schools of thought that, firstly, Rangers have managed to beat German teams who are higher up in the league than Frankfurt, but the teams that you mentioned there that they've managed to beat on the way, does that focus the mind?
Yeah, that's why you can't really consider what league position they're in, and they've got to a final for a reason. And they're very good on the counter attacks, and they're a German team, so they'll obviously be good on the ball, strong physically. So we just got to really nullify their threats, what they oppose, and really take the game to them.
Have you spoken to John Gregg about this final, given he was the last captain? Or has he spoken to you, rather?
I think the only time I can really speak to him is if I pick that trophy up, because if I don't, then he's going to give us some stick. So my aim is to pick up that trophy.
And you would be in there with the likes of John Gregg being a European Cup winning captain for Rangers. Is that to you?
That sort of levels the playing field a little bit when I have the little moments with John. But yeah, it puts yourself in a category where amongst the greats of the club, and that's what we all want to be. That's where you want to put a legacy down for when you do. The day comes when you want to retire, you can look back in your career and you can be really proud of it.
Hello.
Well, we've been joined by James for Tennessee. Hello, James. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, Linda. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Nice to hear from you. What's on your mind? It must be this game on Wednesday night you're phoning in about.
Yeah, it was actually. It's just I've got the team. I think I've got the result. I've got the scorers, and I've got 3 players for you for next season if you want. But I'll give you my team if you want.
Give us that in that order. Then we've not even got to our teams, but you can kick it off, James.
Right,
well done, James. Well done.
Well done.
Good on you, mate.
Linda, you're starting off in goals.
Oh, that's okay with me. Right, go for it, James.
Right. McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Golson, Bassey, Barisic, Jack, Lundstrom, Kamara. I would have Sakala on the right, but it could be right, actually. Aribo and Kent. I wouldn't play Roof. We've done that before in games, guys. It's not got much practice. I don't think it's a good idea. Play the guys that have been playing. And I think we'll win 2-0. And I think the scorers will be Tavernier and Aribo. So see if I'm right on Wednesday. I think we should go for them. To really go all out for them. I would attack them. I would just really go for them to the throat. I think we've got an excellent chance. I wouldn't sit back against them. I'd go all out. But I think we'll win. And if we win, I'm going to the Nashville game and I'm taking my poster board with Rangers Europa Cup winners. And I'll have a video there and hopefully they'll catch. They go around with the TV and hopefully they'll catch it. And so the usual video we'll have, but I think we'll win on Wednesday and we'll have some party.
Yeah, absolutely, James. I think everybody's quietly confident without being overconfident, if that makes sense. A couple of wee points I'll pick up on. I think you're right about Kamar Roof, James. He's not the sort of guy that hits the ground running, once he comes back from injury. He usually takes 2 to 3 games. So to throw him into a big final like that would you consider that would be too risky?
Yeah, because if you remember going back, they played Roger Hind in Germany, and Roger Hind was a centre-back. How they ever played him up front? And they had Jim Forrest and McLean they'd get rid of, but you don't do that. You play players or in form. You wouldn't start me in the game, would you?
Well, we don't know. Right, Port, what do you think? A wee bit too risky for Kemar. I know you've kind of hinted at perhaps Ramsey, but what's your view on whether it should be Wright or Sakala?
I think it's going to be slightly more cautious in that end, if I'm going to be totally honest. I think you might see Arfield out on that right side, and if it's not going to be Arfield, it might be, like I said earlier on, that could be where Ramsey's going to be. I think, where Rebo in the false nine. He did say in his press conference earlier in the week he was going to give Roof free up to the last minute to prove his fitness, Linda. So I don't know if it's a bit of bluff for the other manager. It could be mind games. We know these things happening in football, and top sports. So I think he's keeping his cards close to his chest, and it's going to be hard to pick this team for the final game. I think big decisions to make. Especially in the forward area.
Yeah, big decisions for our manager. We've also been joined by Ross. How you doing, Ross?
Hi, Linda. Hi, Paul. How we doing, guys?
All right, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
Have I missed anyone else out? Sorry.
What's on your mind if it's not Wednesday?
There's nothing else to talk about, Linda. That's the only thing to talk about.
I know. Did you hear James? Did you hear James's team there that he gave a minute ago?
I never heard it.
No. Well, have you got a team for us that you would like to present?
I'd go McGregor, Tav, Olsen, Bassey, Barisic, Lundstrom, Jack, Ramsey, Aribo, Kent, and Glenn Kamara.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think probably the biggest debate as well is who's going to be starting on that right-hand side, isn't it? And it's probably one of the things that we've kind of debated all season. What about your confidence in terms of how we're going to go on, Ross? Do you think it is a 50-50 tie, or do you have them or us slight favourites?
No, I think it is going to be close, Linda. I mean, they are a good side. We can't say that they're no with the teams that they've put out, but we've put out good teams as well, But I fancy us to win 3-2 in the night. I really do. I think we're going to do this.
3-2, did you say, Ross?
3-2, aye.
3-2. Billy, if it's going to be 3-2, I think I'll just be hiding behind the couch.
Oh, hey, listen, mate. Listen. Ross, any victory will do me, pal. 1-0, 3-2, 2-0. I'm not caring, mate. If it's a squeaky bum 1-0 and we scored in the last minute, I could not care. Just long as we can get this trophy, pal. That's all that matters to me.
I think it is going to be a really good game, guys. I can see it being quite open, But I just think that I don't know. I've just got a feeling that we're going to win this tournament. I really do.
Ross, do you think it's as if it's kind of a fate because just the way everything's panned out for us this season? And I think probably after Dortmund, I think Ryan Kent said recently that that's when they started to say, well, when do we take this seriously? And I think that's probably when we started to believe, probably the Dortmund game.
Well, I think that's a great statement, because if you're looking at it when the draw came out, like they were probably the favourites to go and win it. And what a performance in that first leg and the second leg, to be fair, that we put in. So if that isn't going to give you confidence, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, absolutely. And James, Tavernier, when he was, he was interviewed, he's such a humble guy, isn't he? And he talked a wee bit about his own journey, and it's been quite remarkable, James, hasn't it?
Yeah, he is very humble, a bit like myself. Scoring 3 goals in a cup game and then getting dropped. Remember, Port Bear? I was humble that day. I think I think he deserves it. I think he's the guy who'll drive us through. I've got him scoring the first goal. I think they'll go all out here. I've got no reservations. It's written. We will win this. I'll tell you. I have no fears. I'll not be hiding behind the couch. I'll be jumping up and down when they score, hugging my son and so forth. And then I'm going to the Nashville game and we'll tell the world we are the best team in the world. No, I have no fears at all. I think we've got to have confidence. We beat Dortmund. Dortmund are much better than that lot, and we beat Leipzig. So we've nothing to fear. Just go and take them to the cleaners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Linda,
yes, on you come.
Sorry,
Ross.
I'm going to just cut it short. Me and a few of my pals, we're just about to leave. We're driving to Seville, so.
Well, Ross, talk us through your journey then quickly before you go. Tell us your route.
We're going down to get the Euro tunnel, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then driving into through France, and then down into Spain. So there's 4 days going, and then we're just going to take turns and hopefully get there when we get there. You know.
Absolutely.
Love it.
I'm going with my best pal, who I've been mates for 29 years, and I cannot wait to spend it with him, honestly. It's going to be absolutely brilliant.
So maybe the show's on tomorrow night so you can see how you are feeling.
I will give you a phone tomorrow night and let you know how we're getting on, all right?
Ross, have an absolutely brilliant time and we'll hear from you soon, and just bring that trophy back.
We'll do our best, won't we? Guys, you enjoy it whenever you are watching it.
Sing your heart out, mate. Sing your heart out.
Sing your heart out, pal.
Pleasure
Safe journey, Ross.
That race night.
Aye, brother, pal, no worries. Pleasure to meet yourself, my man, alright?
Take care.
Ross.
See you later.
Take
Cheers.
care. Absolutely brilliant, Porty. Imagine
Love
that.
it.
You could have been going with your dad as well, as I say.
I don't know if I could have helped his crap right enough, but I still went. Aye, definitely. Definitely. Aye, I love hearing that, man. This is a guy, he's just about to leave, you know, and he's going to have an incredible journey with his mates in a car. These are all things that, you know, mates should do with each other, etc. So fair play to him. I hope it was a cracking, safe journey and all the best to him.
Absolutely. Port, just talking about Tav's interview again there, you know, he was asked about, you know, emulating sort of John Greig, and he kind of joked about the fact he'll not be able to speak to him unless he lifts up the trophy, and he sounds like the sort of guy that loves having all these people like John Greig about, just so that he can, you know, get, you know, feedback from them and just what it's like to be a Ranger.
That's the greatest ever Ranger. He's been voted, you know, greatest ever Ranger, John Greig. And imagine what they picked that guy's brains for information and, you know, being a captain of a club and what it means to be a Rangers captain and player. Tav's journey, Linda, for Wigan, when he came in a joint deal with Martin Waghorn, Tav's would never have dreamed, probably on the back at Wigan, that he was going to come up to Rangers when he signed for us. And then on his journey, get to, you know, last 32, is Steven Gerrard grew the club in European stature. You know, and this team's been together for a long, long time, and it became a very experienced team and a hard team to beat in Europe, if that makes sense. And he's been the crux of this journey, whether it be assists, whether it be goals, important goals in big games. Under he's been the main man. And like he touched on, the Sky Sports presenter, he says, you know, he's a top goal scorer in European football. In the Europa Cup, and he's a right back. You know, it's everything. I just think it's the stars are aligning, Linda. Things all happen for a reason, but I'm not arrogant enough to think, you know, Frankfurt are a poor side. They've been in a similar journey to us. They've been, you know, their league position to me is a false position. They're a team in transition. They basically sacked their whole backroom staff, their manager, their previous manager. They've got a new manager in with a new backrooms team. Got a whole practically new team they want to put together. That's why they're in the 11th position in the Bundesliga. They've not managed to work things out there yet, but as they've shown against West Ham and Barcelona, they're a decent side. And you know, there's guys like Filip Kostic, Kamada, Jasper Lindstrom, they're all other attacking players who are incredible, gifted players. They're forward, the boy Santos Boré, lots of goals in his first season in the Bundesliga. They're a team to reckon with, Linda, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, Porton. I think, you know, if we went in as slight underdogs, I don't think we would be too unhappy about that, because I probably think that we don't mind it if we're not the favourites. You know, sometimes that brings the best out of us. Anyway, we've been joined by Blue Star. How you doing, Blue Star?
Evening, Linda, Port, Billy. I'm doing fine, apart from still raging that no been able to get an appointment to change my passport. Or I've been there, but friends left yesterday. They drove down, and I've been speaking to them today. They're saying the roads they've all been surprised. They were all expecting hot ups at Dover at the Eurotunnel, etc. And they said they're all well ahead of schedule. Says even the buses that have been leaving on the road, they're all well ahead of schedule. So that's all brilliant for the fans, is it not?
Oh, absolutely, Blue Star. That was a shame that you didn't get to go. I mean, we're seeing all the videos getting posted. Obviously, the team jetted off, and then all the fans have been, trains, planes, and automobiles. So it's definitely starting to get even more exciting. How are you feeling about the game yourself? I think we're right in saying that we've obviously got to respect the opposition, but we should also be confident as well, shouldn't we?
Oh, absolutely. You had the nail on the head, Linda. Your dulcet tones there when you says about. I think the whole club, the backroom staff and everything. I think their whole attitude just changed the minute we put Dortmund out. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Linda, you mentioned a wee bit there about just going off that subject for a second, just to mention about see the likes of the women winning their league.
Yeah,
I found that absolutely tremendous, and credit must go to our last manager Stevie G, simply because I was listening to some of the women getting interviewed, and they all said the same thing, that the whole presentation for the backroom staff and everything all changed under him. Their training methods, everything else. And I don't think it's any coincidence. And I know you can't say it's Gio's team, but we all know Gio's tweaked the system in certain games, and we're thankful for that. But I still think you've got to give Stevie G credit in the sense that it can't be any coincidence that even the women ran amok in that league, went through the season undefeated, when the likes of Glasgow City had won it for the last 14 years. That was an absolutely massive achievement, And I think all testament to the fact that Stevie changed the whole setup of the club, from backroom all the way right out, and fair play to the guy. But on Wednesday, Linda, I've said since the Dortmund game, I've got no doubt in my mind we're coming back with that cup, and I would go along with the team that was mentioned there. Only difference I would have in it, I think he's a stick-on to start with Wright on the right-hand side, only because I think Wright tracks back more, and I think that's what he'll go for, and he'll bring the likes of Sakala on as a sub for speed, as he will do with Ramsey. And I'm baffled when I seen Chris Boyd getting mentioned, and the boy that used to report on is Downey for Sky. When he was at the airport, I found it weird that wee Alfie wasn't on the flight, because they've been telling you all week that he came back to Colombia, he's been training, he's not on that flight. I find that absolutely strange, but unless there's other circumstances, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I mean, obviously, I don't think he was going to play, Linda, obviously.
No,
but
no.
I would have thought he would have been there with the team,
My understanding was, and it was Gio that said that he came back to Colombia last week because there was videos of him doing his recovery, and there was a few daft things, in my opinion anyway, going about saying that maybe he'll make the bench. There's no chance. But Gio did say that they would all be travelling as a group, even the injured players, because they've been
That's right.
And he wants to keep them all together. But no, I think, as my understanding is that they've all gone, as I say, even the guys that can't make the group that's going to be involved in terms of the match. But Billy, just going on Blue Star's point there about Scott Wright. Scott Wright did start the last couple. He started the 2 Leipzig games, didn't he, Billy? So as long as he's all right after that terrible tackle last week against Ross County, do you think Scott Wright will start?
Yeah, I definitely do. Linda, I definitely do. I mean, the tackle. I can't get my head around some of the decisions that in the games against us with shocking challenges. And they're getting away scot-free, but we're not going to go down that road. It was a terrible tackle, and listen, thank God that the lad is all right, but If he's fit, which I think he will be, I think he's nailed on to play down that right hand side, Linda. I've actually just scribbled my team down that I would play, and it's along the same lines as the other boys that I've said there. But I'd go McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Bassett. Excuse me, I'll start again. McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Barisic, Lundstrom, Jack, Camara, Aribo, Kent, and Wright. That'd be my starting 11.
Right, okay. James, just to bring you back in, you're saying that you're confident and you've gone for 2-0, so you're expecting us to be able to keep a clean sheet against Frankfurt then? You don't think that there's a chance that we might concede in the match?
No, I think you've got to be positive in a game like this. I think there's too... See, if you're there, go on the attack on a team like them, I think we can score 2 goals and we can defend against them. And we just have to have the energy to play the way they played against Dortmund and Leipzig, and we'll beat them. I'm confident. I'm really confident. I think Blue Star's very good at the football. He seems to know his stuff. I'm sorry you can't go Blue Star. That's a pity about your passport. If I was in the passport office, I would make sure you got one, but sorry.
I had to do it online, and it was only to renew it. So therefore, I waited a week, and then I went into the passport office last Wednesday, and I'm sitting in front of the girl, and she says, "Look, I'm awfully sorry. I know this sounds stupid," she says, "but you've got to do it online. We can't do it in the passport office." I says, "Eh?" She says, "Well, a certain Nicola changed the rules." So on the way back out, the girl followed me back out, and she says, "Look, I can tell you if you go to Belfast, Birmingham, Durham, or even Brighton," she says, "you walk in and out in 20 minutes. So I phoned my auntie in Brighton, believe it or not. This is true, Linda. I phoned her, and her and my uncle went in on Monday. They weren't even in 20 minutes, and they got it changed like that. And yet we're in Glasgow, with a big, massive Glasgow office, and we can't even get into China with passport. It's incredible, isn't it?"
Yeah, it's pretty poor. It really is. So we heard from Ross and his journey and what he's about to go and embark on. It'd be interesting to hear from anybody else that's making the trip to Seville and how they're going to get there. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Port, do you think this run to Seville's been different from the Manchester one? Does it feel different to you in terms of perhaps we felt as if just getting to Manchester was an achievement, but this feels different this time?
I think when we got to Manchester, we all knew the team was running on empty, Linda. When you look at the semi-final and you look at the quarter-final, you know, the lack of goals, the lack of even invention and stumbling over the line in a lot of the games, penalty shootouts, etc. You know, we got there by hook or by crook, but we still got there. But we had nothing to offer in the final, Linda, if we're totally honest. You know, we had a great Zenit type team with Timichuk and Arshavin and that on the team, and Raul Garcia. A great side under Dick Advocate. So that, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting us to win that one. But this one, Linda, it's completely different. We know we're squads. We know that our squad's capable. We've had some cracking results this year. After a slow start, I think about Malmo, think about the slow start we had in the Europa Cup. We didn't win a lot of games in the group stages even. And we won basically from Gio. Gio got us there in the end up. And obviously beating Dortmund, Leipzig, Red Star Belgrade. These are all massive teams in Europe, very experienced teams with some top world talent right now. If you look at the Leipzig and Dortmund squad, Haaland's just went to Manchester City. And their team will get cherry picked as well during the summer for Jude Bellingham, etc. as well. Right, top world players here we're talking about in both the German sides, and I think it looks like Gio's got the tactical genius to take on German sides, and that's the way it seems to be. He seems to have, when you think back to Dortmund when he went to the back three and seen out the game and went and got another goal when it changed to the back three. He's a reactive manager that I keep mentioning on here. He's totally different from Gerrard. He's a very reactive manager, and if things aren't going right, he will change it, whether it be formation or players. So I think he's got their number, Linda, in the German teams. So I can only see a positive result. Yeah.
Yeah. And Billy,
Linda,
on you come, James. Yeah, on you come.
Who's going to be on the show on Wednesday? Do you know?
I don't have the list in front of me. I think it might be Port, actually.
Okay, well, I'll be back on Wednesday no matter what. I'm just going to leave now, but I'll just go and say, come on, the Rangers!
Great, well said.
Brilliant.
Brilliant to hear from you, James.
Okay,
Definitely
take
call
care.
back in.
Cheers, James.
Bye.
Take care, James.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And you come, Billy. I'm just talking about the fact that, you know, we absolutely deserve to be here, don't we? And some of the football we've played has been absolutely tremendous.
It's been superb. I mean, but obviously you're losing your first couple of games. You know what I mean? You're saying to yourself, where we got nobody in their wildest dreams, no even the craziest gambler would have picked the Rangers out to go this far. And we're on the verge of making history. You know what I mean? And it's been an incredible journey. And listen, I agree with the caller James that was just on there. I want us to go at this team during the week, and I want us. We're always at our best when we start with a high tempo and we're right on the front foot, playing a high press up the park. And when we're on as Big Ox says all the time, when we play, we play. You know what I mean? And it's great because we zip the ball about in 2 and 3 touch football. And to touch on the subject as well with Big Kemal Roof, I don't think the big man will start. Personally, myself, just because he's not had enough game time in the last 3 or 4 weeks now, because we can't carry past any passengers in this game whatsoever. Everybody's going to be, every single player that crosses that white line on Wednesday night, they've got to be at it right away, switched on and right at it. And if we do that, that trophy's coming back to Ibrox.
Yeah, absolutely. Blue Star, do you agree it's too big a game to bring Kemal Roof back in, particularly because, as I said earlier, he doesn't seem to hit the ground running. He usually needs a few games.
Absolutely, Linda. I was on the show and I thought in the semi, the first thing I thought he would have made. I thought he was a stick on to make it simply because of what Tafford came out and said, and he didn't start. Yes, I definitely think there's no doubt about it. This time, I think he'll be on the bench, as will Ramsey, but no, he'll not start. I can't see it. And on what you were saying there, I genuinely think that the overall attitude of our whole team, our squad, went up a level when we beat Dortmund. But in saying that as well, see the very fact we were struggling with no Alfie up front, and then, as I say, we Roof out as well. I think in a strange way that galvanised us even more, because I think it made the rest of the team know that they had to chip in somebody else. The goals had to come from some other department. And I think that's gave them even a bigger gel, a glue together as well, you know, because you can see now, and I think there's no doubt about it. Gio in these last 2-3 press conferences, and again, I know we're waiting and he's won them all, but he said recently that because it's a one-off game, you've got to give your all. I don't think there's any chance of sitting back. I think we will be going for it. And I do think it'll be 3-1. I think we might let one in, but I do think, I've said it for months now, I genuinely think we'll win it. But I think we will go at them. We can't sit back and defend. We're not that type of team. We really aren't. We'll go at them, no doubt about it.
What's your opinion? Do you think he'll obviously have a plan A, a plan B, and even a plan C? Because he's, as you said earlier, he's shown to be quite tactically aware and he can change things in game. But maybe if we get on the front foot right away, you know, it'll give us an advantage.
I think when we play in Europe, Linda, it suits your team. And I think any team that seems to attack Rangers or open up against Rangers, even under Gerrard, that Blue Star touched on earlier, I mean, I do give Gerrard high praise for starting this journey, especially in the European football, because it's gave us some great nights. But I think up another rung on the ladder, if that makes sense. Since Gio come in, I think we're a better side in Europe, and it's only today with Gerrard's probably stubbornness not to change it, etc. at times in Europe when it wasn't going right. Whereas, as I say, Gio's more tactically aware. I'm not being critical of Gerrard, but seems to be more tactically aware, and he's got a few aces up his sleeves and different formations to use, as we've noticed. But I think any team seems to up against us, Linda, you do it at your peril. You play football against Rangers at your peril, because we've proven in the counter-attack we're lightning quick, we're good in transition, we win the ball back quick. And if we do that, which we've been doing, like Blue Star touched on as well, without, the Alfredo and without Roof, or recognised strikers, the team's been a different animal. They hunt in packs, they get round their teams, they win the ball back quick, the ball retention's a lot better. And I think they're playing as a team, Linda, no individuals, they're playing as a unit, which is only going to benefit Rangers for bringing that trophy home. Yeah,
and Billy, it probably would be risky to change the sort of a formation or the clientele too much. I mean, I know it would only be one player, but as Sport and Blue Star have said, and you said earlier as well, we haven't been playing with a target man at all. A recognised 9, and the others have started to chip in. So why would you change something that's been successful?
That's right. The old saying is, don't fix it if it's no broken. You know what I mean? Don't try to fix it if it's no broken. Yeah. I mean, when we've played Joe Aribo, when he was playing up top there, is that the ice cream van?
That was my first phone going.
I think that's Ross. Ross leaving for his trip. He's decided to play as a tune.
That's a passport office, Blue Star.
Carry on, Billy.
I wouldn't change it. I mean, Giovanni knows he'll know what he's got. He'll have been watching the players in training for the last week. Obviously, when we played Ross County there, that was his chance to give the players a run out that were basically round about the starting 11 or the pool of the players that's going to be picked for Wednesday night. So, and plus it kept them fresh. So, but I wouldn't change it, mate. To be perfectly honest with you, Linda, I would go with what he's already done, because it's been successful. And Joe Aribo, to be honest with you as well, he's been unlucky when he's played in that that role, because he's been took half injured, and then he got pushed up forward when in the first game against Red Bull Leipzig earlier. And then he had to come off because he'd put a shift in, because I think it was Scotty Wright it was trying to play through the middle, and obviously that wasn't working. So as Port said as well, with Gio's tactics, he's seen that wasn't working, and then he put Joe Aribo through the middle there, and it was working great. And then obviously he had to go off because he put so much effort into the game. So I would take Joe Aribo in that false number 9 role, with Scott Wright and Ryan Kent at either side of him. And as Port said as well, when if we hunting packs and squeeze as a unit all over the park, and we will get at this team. As I said, that team's no mugs either. They thoroughly deserve to be in the final as well, and it's going to be a cracker. I mean, my head as a prediction off the top of my head for the score, my heart's saying 2-0 to Rangers, and my head's saying 4-2. You know what I mean? So I just can't wait, Linda. I just cannot wait.
Yeah, absolutely, Billy. Blue Star. Billy mentioned Joe Aribo, and I think we've all been talking about Joe and saying that before he went to the AFCON, he was probably the best player in Scotland, well in the running for Player of the Year. He was absolutely terrific. He has played a lot of games, and he's not quite hit the heights since he came back. I think he's played the most games of any footballer in European football so far this season. But there's a wee sneaky feeling among some of the fans on social media that Joe could be the difference in Wednesday night and maybe pop up with a winning goal or something like that.
Absolutely. I think you're bang on what you're saying. Whenever he came back to the African Nations, he certainly wasn't the same player. And he did look, let's not kid ourselves on, he did look as if he was suffering from fatigue. He looked tired. What I would say is that in that last game, I just hope if he gets another chance presented to him like the one he missed the ball altogether, I hope he sat in the pokey. But no, to be fair to the guy, he has got a physique. He's a big, tall guy, and he has done damage up there. I mean, he's manoeuvred himself about so that he has been able to bring other players into the side. And again, that's testament to our manager. Because who would have? I mean, I know a few years ago you could maybe fling him up front, but the way Gio's done it, and let's not forget, even the likes of Scott Wright Scott Wright was never in any of our thoughts really. Yes, he was on the bench a few times, but you were never taking him as a starter, never in any game. And Gio's brought him in, and the guy's shone. So again, that's all down to tweaking with the manager. He's used what he's had at his disposal, and he's used it well. And his tactics have been tremendous. And I'm convinced, honestly, I hope it doesn't come back and bite me. I don't think it will. I'm convinced we're winning that cup. Honestly, I am. Yeah. All on that, and I'll say this, Linda, and I'll let you get somebody else in. I'm still annoyed at the fact the only wee bit of downside I see, and I'm gobsmacked that our club didn't reverse the decision to open Ibrox. I still find that hard to believe because I'm still seeing it everywhere, and I know Port spoke about it. I know what we all have, but for the fans back here, for us not being able to go to our ground on Wednesday night under, that's honestly you can't emphasise this enough. It's absolutely shocking. It's a diabolical decision for the club. Diabolical. It really is.
Yeah, I think
irrespective of whether you can watch it in the house or you can go to a pub or whatever. Can you imagine it? We won that cup Wednesday night. Everybody bar their granny within reason would be heading to Ibrox, even though the team's not going to be there. You just go to celebrate. The place is going to be all shut up. It's a massive faux pas. It really is.
PR disaster.
Yeah, I think so. And, we were all a wee bit gobsmacked, when it was announced just sort of during that interview. But as I said, we've not moved on from it because I think we still think it was the wrong decision. But as I say, when we've heard about the fan zones or the stadium getting opened, in Seville for the fans to go to, and obviously thousands are still going anyway, despite UEFA saying don't travel without a ticket. I don't know, it's maybe something to give them feedback on. I'm sure we will, Blue Star, as fans groups, etc.
On that, Linda, can I just ask you before I go, what's your thoughts on the game itself? I take it you think we'll win, but what's your predictions?
I think it'll be 2-1, and it's a wee bit close for comfort, I know. I do fancy, I think we'll get a penalty as well, Blue Star. Know that I'll be watching it, I'll be behind the couch or somebody. I think we'll get a penalty. I think it'll be 2-1, and I fancy Tav, and I think Joe Aribo will maybe get the winning goal.
Oh, good for you, right? Port yourself, Linda and Billy. Enjoy the rest of the show. I'll be listening in, and onwards and upwards. We are the people, and let's hope this cup comes back to Ibrox for our club and for our fans and for all our fans all over the world. Good night, folks.
Cheers, Blue Star. All the best.
Cheers, Blue Star.
Anyway, we're going to have a tune now, but it would be nice to hear from people after the tune. Come in and give us your thoughts. But if you get yourselves on mute, guys, let's have a tune.
Underneath the Glasgow lights and narrow streets are blue and white. They lead me to a place where I belong. And walking there I hear a sound of all the people loud and proud. Their voices come together in a song. No matter what may come, we'll always follow on. We'll always follow on. We've had our darkest days, now it's our time again. The writing's on the wall. Now you got giants at your feet. You hear the call of history. You gave us something to believe. We follow you, so make us dream. Now make us dream. Now make us dream. Travel far and wide to fly the flag and fly it high for all the ones we've lost along the way. To absent friends we'll raise a glass and everything that's come to pass has paved the road to lead us to this day. No matter what may come, we'll always follow on. We'll always follow on. We've had our darkest days, now is our time again. The writing's on the wall. Now you got giants at your feet. You hear the call of history. You gave us something to believe. We follow you, so make us dream. Now make us dream. Now make us dream.
Thanks for that.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Wow, what a tune that is. That's by St Phoenix, and you can buy it or download it online. They're good Rangers men, as you probably all know, but that is some tune. Surely that's going to be number one. Hey guys, what a tune that is, Port.
Absolutely incredible tune. Put together this week, I believe. I seen Callum Beattie and his lead singer from St Phoenix. I watched it on Twitter and YouTube. The two guys putting it together. Spanish horns going in the background, the drums. It just gets you right off your seat. What a tune, Linda. One of the best footballing tunes I've heard in a long, long time.
Billy, yourself, goosebumps?
Love it. Love it. my nerves are wrecked. My nerves are wrecked and it's only Monday, Linda. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm going to be like Wednesday night. Excuse me.
Can I just encourage Linda, all the fans out there, to download, buy, get it.
Yep.
Go and get that tune, folks. Go and get it. And back these boys.
Yeah, they're great lads, and I think they've played at Ibrox as well at half time in a couple of the games. At least one I can remember anyway, and I think they've been at the fans' village. They're real blue noses, but talented guys as well, aren't they? It's fantastic.
Oh, incredible.
Absolutely.
Would it be such a bad thing, Linda, if that became a new tune to come onto the pitch to?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think Simply the Best ran its course?
Just time for a wee revamp, for the young team.
Maybe that's... we need to come into the 20th century, never mind the 21st century. Oh, I know. So, Billy, this the biggest game in the club's history, do you think, on Wednesday?
Aye, it is, definitely. It's the biggest game in history for all the years I've been supporting the Rangers. Massive. It's massive, and it'd be right, honest to God, it'd be icing in the cake for what a birthday present it'd be for our institution to lift this trophy on Wednesday to celebrate 150 years. It'd be absolutely fantastic. It's the biggest game for me, definitely, Linda, all day long, pal.
Yeah, totally agree. And Port, we don't want to get too sort of bogged down with finances, etc., right? Because we're football people, but we do appreciate what this means. But every time you hear an interview or a faction about it, it's all talking about this Champions League group stage and what that would mean to our club. So it is very, very important.
Aye, it's very important, Linda, because, yet again, the Champions League is another rung on the ladder, which we have to get to as well. We've seen we've sort of mastered the Europa League, which, I mean, it's a level below. I know a lot of teams dropped down for the Champions League this year, some big teams like, Dortmund and like Barcelona, who dropped out of the Champions League into the Europa. But Rangers over the last 4 years have made incredible money in the Europa, and now we need to go that one step. So to get that money, Linda, rebuild, add, Gio gets to add his own bit of magic into his team and brings, because let's face it, he's not managed, the players he's got is mostly Gerrard's team, and he's had to shoehorn them, fit them into his Dutch-styled system, which is totally different from Gerrard's 4-3-3. It's similar, but it's totally different, if that makes sense. And he's playing players that arguably would play in the same positions that he would probably play for his own buys. So he's got a bit of rebuilding job, I think, in the summer today. I think you'll see at least 4 or 5 going, Linda, and I mean major players. And it'd be great to have that top money to go out there and buy the top players that we need to take us to that next level.
Yeah, totally agree, Port. We've been joined from Ian for YouTube. Ian, how you doing? Tell us how you're feeling.
Oh, I'm feeling absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Good on you, Ian. Good on you.
Aye, see these people, that there's a lot of people sort of nervous that I've been talking to, but most Rangers fans are kind of confident. And I know Frankfurt, you can't take them for granted, but we've put out better teams than them. And we play our best football in Europe, and we've seen that. And we can beat them. Now, as for the Scottish Cup, can I just mention this? We practically put the B team out against their full team and beat them. So, to me, the Scottish Cup's in the bag. Wednesday night, the Cup's in the bag, because I've never felt so relaxed in all my life. And this is a massive Cup final. I mean, I'm old enough to go way back to the 72 when they won again down in Moscow. And I mean, I was listening to that in the wee tranny with a big, I mean, the battery attached to my wireless was bigger than the tranny, and it was sellotaped onto a copper pole. That's the way I was listening to it. You know what I mean?
Ian,
I was only 14, I was at school.
Fantastic, Ian. Ian, is the way that this team's played in Europe, I know we didn't start off the campaign very well, and I do think, going back to that Malmo when we went out to them, I thought that knocked the stuffing out of us, and obviously we got through against Alashkert. We lost the first 2 games. Could you ever have imagined at that point that we would go on a run to the actual final?
No, I actually thought we were going to go out. To be quite honest with you, because we were rubbish, really. And we had a lot of luck against us. But as we progressed and go on and on and on, we get better and get better and get better. Now, I know the league's our way well, and we weren't playing that kind of great up until, I'd say about the last 6 weeks, this team's picked up in the league as well. And bringing through the boys. Now, we played practically the B team against a full Hearts team and strolled it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And we won 4-1 against Ross County, which is usually a hard game. And it was another dawdle as far as I was concerned. And I don't think we've got anything to worry about in any of these 2 cup finals. Nothing at all. I know it'll be a good game between us and Frankfurt, but I think we are the better team between them, because we've got the class players. We've got 11 class players. They've got about 4 that are well known. The rest are just Frankfurt German players. Yeah. I mean, they've not got big names apart from about 4 of them. We've got 11 they've got to contend with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've got to be quietly confident, show them the respect that they probably do deserve. But as you say, be confident within ourselves. We've been joined by Alex for Wishaw, and I'm hoping he's coming in to tell us when he's starting his journey to Seville. Good evening, Alex.
Good evening.
Are you there, Alex? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Hello? You're just breaking up a wee bit, Alex. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me, Linda?
Yeah, can hear you now.
Right, good evening, Linda. Port Bear Billy, Ian.
Hi.
Oh, this is it now, isn't it? This is it kicking in now. I'm just going to go and briefly.
When are you leaving?
This is me. I've just got a bit of packing there. I'm away early in the morning. I'm flying from Edinburgh down to Birmingham. Then I'm going to Barcelona. Then Barcelona, I'm going to Granada. I'll be staying down there, and it's 2.5 hours on the train to Seville on Wednesday. And I've even got a ticket now. There you go.
I just made
it. Brilliant. Well done, Alex.
I'm not going to embarrass you with a prize or anything, but the thing is, that's it. I'm going, so I'm looking forward. My mate stays in Texas in Houston, and he's got friends in Seville. And managed to pick up a couple of tickets and that, so I'm meeting him on Wednesdays. But I was going without a ticket anyway, so this is it now. And
well done, mate.
Honestly, I've said it from the very beginning, I'll not change my mind. Wednesday evening, James Tavernier will be lifting that cup.
Yes, exactly.
To Ibrox on Thursday.
Well
I'm telling you now, we'll win this cup unbelievably.
Alex, great.
I know. What is it that makes, I know that we all do feel confident, but just in all seriousness, what is it that makes you feel so confident? Is it a mixture of fate, ability, just the road that we've been down? What's giving you that confidence?
I've just got the ability in the team. The tactics has been spot on in Europe. Yeah. Okay, we kind of failed a wee bit in the league, but that was it. But in general, the only concern I've got, although I'm saying we're winning, is the discipline is the most important thing. That we don't do some silly and get a man sent off here. We keep discipline, the cup's coming home, believe me. And we'll be singing victorious songs all over the world, by the way, on Wednesday evening. And I've no doubts about this. I followed the Rangers for the 60s, just like Ian there, as way back 72. I was even at a semi-final with Newcastle. That is it. We drew nothing each of them at Ibrox Park. Andy Penman missed a penalty kick, and he had a wee Ulsterman in goal called Ian McFall. We drew nothing each, and Newcastle beat us 3-0. That was a game that ended in a bit of riot. So I've been following them right through. This team are going to be legends. I have no doubt about it, man.
Well said, well said.
Aye, well, Ian, who do you think's going to be the most important men for us in terms of getting us over the line for the trophy?
I think Aribo's got a great part to play Wednesday night. I think he'll turn up in Day's style on Wednesday night, and I think, well, the whole team practically, I would say, is going to be up for it. I mean, there's no lot is doing once in Europe, and them getting to this final, they're going to be determined to win this, and they're going to be doing this for the club, Jimmy Bell, Walter Smith, all his loyal Rangers fans, every Rangers fan right around the world. I mean, they ain't going to let us down, and I'm 100% confident on that. And I've been saying it all the way through the tournament, and I've never been wrong yet.
Yeah. And what about Tav, Ian? He's obviously our captain, and as Port was talking about earlier on, you know, he's a top scorer in the competition. He's right back, and he's been instrumental, hasn't he, in driving us on in the games?
Okay, I mean, we were joking earlier on in the conversation below, going, who was going to score the first goal, and we're all saying Tav, because that's what Tav usually does. He scored the first goal, and it doesn't need to be a penalty. And I wouldn't be surprised if he scored again on Wednesday night, the first goal, because the man is just, he's subhuman, do you know what I mean? He's just got the pace and the strength and the energy to run for 90, 120 minutes and keeps going. and he's everywhere all over the park, and yet he's a right back. And he's the top goal scorer in Europe, which I can't get my head around that, but yeah, really.
It's quite remarkable, Ian, isn't it?
It's a remarkable team altogether, Linda. That's
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Port Tav's just everything you would want from a modern day fullback, isn't he? And I know he's prone to the odd mistake, you know, but most of the fullbacks are when you look at the best ones anyway. But he's everything you would want from somebody playing in that position, isn't he?
I think if you look at, you know, as you touched on the modern day fullback, I think Dani Alves was the first one that I saw that, you know, would maraud forward for Barcelona and, you know, get goals, get assists, and his assist and goal ratio was up there, you know, in world football with Barcelona. And then obviously you look at Man City, Liverpool, you know, Andy Robertson, the boy Alexander-Arnold, Jean Cancelo at Man City. You look at Tav. Would Tav really look out of place in any one of their systems, Linda? In my opinion, people think I'm nuts, but he wouldn't look out of place in any one of them top teams' system, because he gets assists, he gets goals, he's a machine up and down that right-hand side. And a lot of time, we've all been questioning why nobody's nailed down that right side in your team. It's been one of my bugbears on this show for 3 years, practically. A lot of times Tav plays two positions over there, and he plays fullback and he's your winger. And more often than not, Scott Wright or whoever's on that right hand side, you've got to come in, man, and play like an inverted winger to leave space for Tav, and it seems to work. Teams don't really understand who they're to pick up. That left back playing in the opposition's team, say who have I to stick and twist with? If I go and mark the fullback, it's marauding forward. If I've got to come inside and mark the guy that's playing, you know, inside. So it definitely works, Linda. And he's an absolute credit. He's as a professional footballer for where he's came from. Like I said, Wigan to European Cup final. It's just mental, Linda, absolutely mental. Yeah. And like I said, he could play in any modern team right now.
Absolutely, Alex. The way that
Linda, I'm going to go and let other people go on then, right?
Okay, Ian, thanks for calling in. It was great to hear from you, and I hope you're keeping well and everything's okay with you.
Aye, I'm all right now. I'm still in my wheelchair and all that. Still getting a bit what I am side.
I'm glad you're keeping okay. And listen,
Aye, I'm doing fine.
I hope your team wins on Wednesday.
Oh, they're going to win on Wednesday and they're going to win on Saturday. I have no doubt about that. So I'm happy. I'm already celebrating.
Right, cheers, Ian. Thanks for
thanks a lot, everybody. Right, thanks a lot. Good night. Good night.
Good night, mate. Take care.
Take care.
Good night. No, Alex, I was just talking about Tav there, and we're obviously hoping that Ryan Jack's going to be all right, because he's not played for a few games, but I think Gio said that he was definitely going to be fine. But I think he's quite important to allow Tav to maybe get up the park, eh?
Absolutely, Linda. That's probably one of the successes we've had. I've got to agree with Port Bear there. I mean, this guy came for Wigan, Mark Warburton, £250,000. What a journey he's been on to sell that guy. And he's proved it, so he could walk into any team as far as I'm concerned. Top goal scorer in Europe. It's unbelievable. We'll go to a final without out strikers in it. And as I said before, the team all play together. You can see they're all into it for 100%, and this will get us over the line. It's no a gimme. This team can play. We know that. They've already beat Barcelona and different ones in that, but West Ham, sorry, but Rangers are they're a different beast in this European game. And as I said before, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm not really too bothered what selection he puts out. I still believe who he puts out in that park. And it's maybe going to be 13, 14 players we're going to have to use. Maybe the idea of Roof coming on the bench. And if it goes into extra time, hope it doesn't, but they're the kind of guys with the experience that can come in there by and change a game like Ramsey and that. But the team really, what Gio puts out his cell there, I'm with 100%. I believe Kamara will play. He's definitely suited for that style of football and all. And Aribo. And we've got the match winner in Ryan Kent. And believe me, that cup's coming home. I've never felt so more confident in all my life. It'll be just absolutely wonderful. And that puts everything into bed. We've had to suffer out of these years. We come back with a European trophy. And just going into the Rangers. I'm just going to go now, Linda. I'd just like to thank everybody on Rangers Radio. And let's do it for the Rangers on Wednesday. Take care, everyone.
Alex, before you go, I was just going to ask you, how are the young team feeling about it?
Oh, they're delighted. They're all going. My boys are there. They're early to bed there. We'll try to get early to bed. It's really exciting. My wife's done all the ironing, the full lot, and that'll be a joke. By the time we get out of there, you want to see the place. Beautiful, but in the morning you could. I'll be totally right. Seville itself, we're just going to take the fall as it comes, by the way. And I'm telling you, every one of the Rangers supporters worldwide, we're doing it for you, by the way, and for absent friends. God bless every one of you.
Thanks, Alex. Have a brilliant time, Alex. Cheers.
Safe journey, Alex.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good night.
All the best, mate.
Good night. Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant, Billy. Just, I don't know, it's a mixture of nerves, it's excitement, it's just thinking, what's it going to be like? You can't help getting ahead of yourself as well, and, thinking about Cav lifting the trophy. And I've also been thinking about, when you saw them going on the plane today, and I've been thinking, I'm thinking about them coming back, and that the doors of the plane opening and him coming down, he's the first one to appear with the trophy. It's just total dreamland, isn't it?
Oh, it's Steven Spielberg stuff, isn't it? There's definitely got to be a movie made out of this one, it's fantastic. And listen, to hear, it doesn't matter who comes on the show, Linda, Port, it's so heartening to hear young bears coming on, old bears coming on. You know what I mean? Everybody, you can hear the passion and the love for our club in their voice, and it's a joy to behold. And just to touch on Tavernier there, never mind them. Obviously, we signed them for Wigan, but what a journey that lad has come through in his total football career. Starting at Newcastle, I think he was out on loan at Bristol City as well, and then he was out on loan again, and he was at Wigan. Then he was loaned there again, and he was loaned back out, and then obviously he comes to the Rangers, and he's just got the blue cafu. That's what we call him, the blue cafu. I mean, and he's just got bigger in stature, and he's got stronger, and he reads the game a lot better now as well. And he's got the captain's hand. I mean, I will be honest with you, I doubt it. If he'd be the man for the job, but he's certainly proven me wrong as well. And he fills that jersey with pride, and it's well deserved for Tav, because he's worked hard all his career for it to put himself into this position, and he's on the verge of lifting a European trophy for Glasgow Rangers, and that'll be his reward. And listen, back to what Port said as well, how he's no had a call up for his country beggars belief. But listen, I'm sure Gareth Southgate will have his phone number if he lifts this trophy on Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Here. So we're moving into the kind of a last 30-35 minutes of the show. So it would be nice to hear from you bears out there. And do you agree with the teams that we've put out so far, or do you think there's maybe a curveball from Gio? So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So Port, the team flew out today, and what do you think the next sort of 24 to 40 hours look like for the team, before they actually get to the stadium for the game? What does it look like in your mind for them?
So historically, the team usually fly out even just a day before, Linda. Usually fly a day, they train at the stadium, the very next day. They'll maybe go for a wee walk round about the city, just take it all in, take the atmosphere in. Always helps to calm the nerves, and also, if you get the feeling in your body and you see all the bears all there travelling, that'll give you a massive lift. But I think over the next 48 hours as a team, we'll be still sitting, organising. Gio will have his DVDs out, watching, basically discussing the dangers of Frankfurt, where they can be get at, where they're dangerous. And then they'll get on the training field and they'll start, working on just a lot of positional stuff. Not much training as in running about, but a lot of positional sense stuff. And then, the team will probably have another meeting just before they go to their bed, Linda, again discussing tactics, and they'll take it from there. And I think Goldson and Tav will have a team meeting just for the guys on their own, as a captain and vice captain, just to basically put the last words out there, that what it means to us, how far they've came as a team, which is an incredible journey since Gerrard picked up the reins and carried this team forward into to the European giants that they're going to be once again. And I think that'll be the next 40 years, Linda. Indeed, I think it's imperative that these two players, Goldson and Tav, stick together and drive this team over the line.
Yeah. And Billy, when you think about some of the players in the team, that have had to step up this season, particularly over the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks when we haven't had recognised strikers, when you think about players like Sakala, Scott Wright, to be fair to them, Billy, they didn't have a lot of time. He did kind of tend to stick with the same players a lot, and that's maybe one of the reasons why Alfie, got injured, but that's obviously another discussion. And I'm going to throw a couple of names in that we've also been talking about a lot. You've got Calvin Bassey. He only made a handful of starts last season, and I think I read somewhere he's maybe started 40 odd games this season. That's incredible for a young guy like Bassey, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. That's another story as well, along the lines of Tavernier, but only under a different name than Big Bassey. Any player that's been asked to come in at any given time, they've all gave everything that they can possibly do give. And if anything, in my opinion, Gio has actually got the better out of these players, the best out of these players. So he has, when he's brought them on for different periods of the game, or if he had to swap the formation round about, the players have all bought into what Gio's been trying to do, and maybe that's what it was missing. It was a bit of a head scratcher at the start of him when he wasn't changing things, and we were all talking about it. How's he no doing this and how's he no doing that? But maybe that's just what was wrong at that time, and obviously Gio and his management team are more clever than us. But maybe that was what was wrong at that time. We just couldn't see it for what it was. But any of the players that's come in to do a job, no matter what position it's been, they've done a fantastic job. And as I said, they just need to believe in themselves and go and grasp this on Wednesday night, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, and I suppose, Port, we do need all the players to play bring their A game. We're looking for 8s at least, and if not more than that. And we need everybody to turn up. But there are going to be obviously a few really important players. Somebody else that we've been talking about is John Lundstrom. I was watching some of the wee videos that have been going about with just this run in Europe, and it took you to the Alishkert game. I was at that game, and he got the 2 yellow cards, and we were all thinking, what's this guy all about? And to be perfectly honest with you, Port, if he had gone out on loan or had sold him in January, I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelid.
No, to go for where you said, Linda, a guy we all thought in January was going to the door, it was mooted he was going to Middlesbrough with Chris Wilder, and I think we'd have taken £1 million for him because we got nothing. Let's be honest, we would have been like, cheerio, thanks for the service, But for a guy to turn around and have 2 songs now named after him, Big Bad John, and the Belinda Carlisle one that's going to be about him now, and to be an absolute mainstay in the spine of your team. In my opinion, the mainstay in the spine of the teams, obviously McGregor, Goldson, who's been immense in Europe. Let's not beat about the bush with him as well. He's been an absolute monster in Europe. And then John Lundstrom is just, we were all saying Ryan Jack was a man in midfield, and he was the driving force and the guy that made everything, tick. We're on the same midfield without Ryan Jack. But we noticed a sort of slight change when Jack and Lundstrom became the base foundation in my midfield, and the two of them were playing great together. But then when Jack started getting that wee injury back again and he went out of the team, John Lundstrom just taking the reins under. He's taking the reins and went, this is my midfield and I'll just boss everything. And if you watch him over the last games against Red Star in particular, and against Leisbig when he was having a go at people. Sakala, right down his neck. He was shooting ball at Tav, Goldson. He wants the ball all the time. Different player, Linda. And, he was mooted about £8 million, but before we got him, he's looking, more than that. He's looking double that, the player. He offers you a lot. And, I keep saying this about players. Good players can play football, Linda, but great players can play anywhere on the pitch. And what I mean by that is, you think Calvin Bassey can play left back and centre back. John Lundstrom now can play centre back, the base of the diamond, or just centre midfield. And you've got Joe Aribo, who's played left back for us on either side of the number 9, and now he's playing number 9. And that's the difference between a good player and a great player. And I think the team's absolutely grown under Gio. I think they're another 20% added to this team, Linda, because of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and his coaching team.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree, Port. And I suppose, Billy, when you look at the team and they have just bought into Gio's philosophy, and obviously the guy Dave Voss as well has got a part to play. Seems quite a quiet guy. You see him in the training videos. He's obviously doing a bit of, I don't know if he's the kind of Michael Beale equivalent of the group, or we used to see him Beale a lot, didn't we, in the videos, but they certainly seem to be getting the best out of the group of players that are there in front of them. And as Port alluded to there, they can play different positions, so their versatility's been really great, hasn't it?
That's right, Linda. That's right. You've got to be versatile. I mean, as I said, back to the something similar to the comment I made earlier on regarding the starting 11 and a couple of subs. Players need to, in the modern game now, they need to adapt. And it's good that you can get players to play in these different positions, because Johnny Lundstrom can slip in at right back and all at a right half type thing. I know Gio, when he's put 5 across the middle, 5 across the back line, just to stop the space. So the players, Calvin Bassey and that as well, it's great to see them adapting into different roles within the team. And as I've said before as well, the Dutch are masters at this. Masters at it. They know. I mean, it's in their DNA for their wee kids at Ajax and Feyenoord and all that, the international and the schoolboys level over in Holland and that. These guys are getting taught that that awareness for a very young age, and that's the mindset that Gio and his team are trying to install within the group of players he's got now. And it's fantastic, and it's only got to get better and better and better, because obviously there'll be players that will leave maybe in the summertime, but Gio will get his own players in as well, and he'll build that into what he's trying to do to make that the Rangers even better again. Yeah,
and you're talking about perhaps, a rebuild happening in the summer, and obviously we'll be talking about that in the months ahead in the show, etc. Who'll be leaving, who'll be coming in. But there's a couple of players that you think about in this team just now, Port. You've got somebody like Alan McGregor, who missed the 2008 final. You just wonder if he, I can't imagine he would have thought that he would have got another chance to play in a European final with Rangers, the team he loves.
These are all the things under where I think, when I spoke earlier on about the stars aligning. McGregor misses in 2008, and at 40 years of age, he got another chance to play, in a European Cup final. He would have thought he was probably going out the door, years ago, London, would probably retired by now and sitting back with slippers on watching the game, But yeah, exactly. His deck chair that he usually uses at Ibrox, but now he's going Wednesday night, he's going to be walking onto that pitch, with his gloves on and ready to rock and roll. And let me tell you, he will let everybody know in that team, in that dressing room before they go. He will let everybody know just how important this is to him and everybody, because of the fact that he missed out. It's massive, Linda, absolutely massive. There's big characters in that squad, a lot of experience in that squad because of our previous European runs, and it's just everything's coming together at the right time, Linda. And this is between Gerrard and Gio's work. This is how we bring the trophy home. I think it's just written the stars, Linda, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And Billy, just touching again on Alan McGregor, you've got to remind yourself as well, the Prague game, I think that was Gio's first game, wasn't it? We had to win with 2 clear goals at Ibrox when we played them at Ibrox. Remember the save, the double save that Alan made in the last, I don't know, was it the last 15, 20 minutes to basically keep that game at 2-0? And also the penalty saved as well. Was at the Red Star game. So yes, he's had some iffy moments in the league campaign, but in Europe he's been terrific, hasn't he?
He's brilliant. Listen, I just love him to bits, eh? And he's a proper keeper and he's a proper Ranger. You know what I mean? I've seen a couple of clips, different things on social media, and had a wee chuckle because with the microphone on and that, like, but he's a winner. That's what Alan McGregor is. He's a winner. That's the bottom line. He's a winner, and as Port rightly said there, he'll be letting everybody know in that changing room before the game starts on Wednesday what it means to everybody, and he'll be barking his orders, and it'll bring the best out. It'll bring the best out in the players. I mean, and listen, for somebody, he's no spring chicken at 40. You know what I mean? But some of the saves he's been making have been incredible. You know what I mean? Absolutely incredible, and it's not just. Linda, it's not just in Europe as well. Some of the saves he's been making in league games has been. How did he get that? I mean, I remember the one in Old Firm game last year when he put that one onto the post, and he knew he saved that, and he's turned around and he says he never got a touch to it. You know what I mean? That's just different class. That just shows you what he's all about. He's just a proper Ranger. So he is, Big McGregor.
Yeah, absolutely, Billy. And, he'll be thinking if it is going to be his last game, what a way to go out. But obviously, we'll still to find out, what will happen in the coming weeks. So we're just heading into the last part of the show. It would be nice to hear from a few callers. Come in and tell us what your thoughts are on the game. Where are you watching it? Is anybody still to make their journey to Seville? So the number's 0141 356 1972. It would be nice to hear from you. So Port, you're not making your way to Seville with your dad, so it's terrible that, so it is, but we feel awful for you. But where are you going to be watching it, and who are you going to be watching it with?
I'll be watching it with a family. A few friends are coming up. I said to my old man, I said, look, just calm yourself down, come down to my house, we'll get the big telly on, we'll sit back, munchies all be ready, we have a wee swally, and we'll have a great night. And I know I'm going to get emotional, and I know for a fact I'm going to get emotional, even probably at the start of the game when I see the team walk out. That's how much it means to me at this particular final. I wasn't as emotional in the last one up in 2008 as I am in this one. And I think when you touched on McGregor as well, the outpour that he showed after the Leipzig game, I've not seen Alan McGregor act like that for years. Or a younger man after winning leagues, etc. But he was absolutely buzzing as well after the RB game as well. So I think I'll get pretty emotional sitting with my family and sitting with my friends and my old man, just watching it in the house. I think it's going to be a crazy night in here, definitely. The flags and the scarves are all arriving in the post every day. A carnival atmosphere in Port Glasgow. Where I love to rub it into the morning. I had to pop with them on Saturday, so it'll be good to get a wee bit of payback. A few Rangers flags, a few fences around with my neighbours as well.
Quite right, Port. And Billy, I mean, Port was saying there it feels different, than it was Manchester, but I suppose it's just what we've been through, isn't it? When you think about the last 10 years down in the third division and having to work our way back up, and we didn't really start to believe again to a certain degree until maybe Steven Gerrard walked through the door. But I think that's why this seems to be so special.
It is. It was when you look back away back then, and then the journey we've came on, and it's been an absolute roller coaster. And then we get Steven Gerrard. I thought it was a master stroke at the time. It was a chance Rangers took in bringing Gerrard in because he wasn't proven at a managerial level. But he came in and he had his lieutenants in aside him to help him out. And listen, he made mistakes as well, Gerrard. and I'm sure he'd be the first to admit that, but he got it right too, and that was just Stephen Gerrard put the foundations down when he came in here, and Gio's he's just taking it that bit further, and it's been proven to be correct.
We've been joined by a guy that never makes mistakes and he's always correct in his predictions. It's Andy Phillips. How you doing, Andy?
No bad. Good evening, Linda, Billy, Pot. I just thought I'd come in there. I thought it'd be a bit quiet tonight, so everybody's out the bloody country, aren't they? So I thought I'd better come along.
Give us
First
some
for myself, I started all right this morning, and guys were sending us videos, and the old videos of Rangers that they've made up about where we've been through the journey and all that. I find myself getting very emotional, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. So God only knows what's going to happen come Wednesday, right enough, But I just like, it's great seeing all the videos and all that. I just like, hope everybody gets no problems, and we'll get the result for them, and everybody gets back safe, right enough. I'm just thinking, I'm glad there. I'm a bit miffed that I'm not there, because I've been at more the major ones, even without tickets. But I'm just thinking, if they started, I know 4 days on the drink, I think I'll be good. So I'll wait till. I just had a couple tonight and a couple more, obviously, because it's the eve of the game. And obviously Wednesday, well, I'll try to get a couple of days after, playing, but I'll be here. I'll be on the jack, by the way. I'll have my old man up on the mantelpiece along with my bro, and them two will be with me in spirit, and as all you guys will be, and hopefully we'll get this result that we're looking for.
Are you feeling confident, Andy?
I think it's in the stars for us. I know I'm not in that camp where I would definitely say, right, we're definitely bringing it home and all that, right enough. I don't like doing that, not because I don't think we can do it, because I don't like tempting fate me, right, So I think if we go out and perform the way we played at the from the quarterfinal on at Ibrox, and we get right about them and set about them, I think we could put them on the back foot, possibly confuse them. If we could get a couple of quick goals like we have been doing, I think it could be an absolute fantastic night for us. I think we're going to win. I've got a feeling there's just something about this one. That Cavaliers kind of talking a wee bit like John Gregg did, like when we were 72. He said he looked out the window, seen all the fans on each side of the bus, and it was going up. He said, we can't lose this final again. And it just has that kind of feel about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just think that we're going to bust up. I don't think for one moment and anything, I don't think we're going to leave anything on the pack. So if the look goes with that, along with that, we're going to be lifting the trophy, hopefully.
Yeah, and I suppose Port, we've just got to, as Andy says, leave everything on the park, because Saturday takes care of itself. You're almost just parking that, aren't you, just now? The most important game, as Bridge always says, is the next game, but it really is for us, isn't it?
Aye, definitely. Saturday's game there, Sunday's game, against Starks was a dress rehearsal of the final. We were a B team. The outcome was 3-1. So, we parked that, and these guys are playing a major, and I mean a major European final here, Linda. This is as big as it gets, apart from the Champions League. This is a tournament below the Champions League, but it's still a major European trophy. And some of these guys might never get to play in a final again, Linda. I mean, let's be brutally honest here. Some of these guys might never get to play in a final again. So as Andy says, you leave it all out there, and our football, which we play in Europe, and it takes care of itself. There's as I said, I'm not arrogant enough to say we're going to go out there and wait the flare with them. I don't think that, because I think they're a quality side. But I think if we leave everything out on the pitch, if we play the football that we know they're capable of, there's only one result happens, Linda.
Yeah, and Billy, I mean, these players, a lot of them probably thought they would never play in a European final, because as we talked about earlier on there, that these competitions aren't set up for teams like Rangers to get there. No, we know we're a big club, we are a big club, but it's just the financial difference between a lot of the clubs. So these players probably thought, this wouldn't happen for them. So it is a massive, massive chance for them, isn't it, to basically go and make history.
That's right. I mean, the money, and the money in some of the teams that we've played that they've spent on players has been frightening. You know what I mean? The likes of Dortmund, and you know what I mean, the money they spend, and Leipzig. You know what I mean? The money that they've spent, and the money that Rangers, the pool of players that it's cost Rangers to what on average to what we've spent and what they've spent. We shouldn't be anywhere near any final. You know what I mean? But it just goes to show you that when you get a game plan set up, and you get your tactics right, and you get a management team that believe in what they're doing, and they can put that across to their players, then it just gets the best out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I thought we were joined by a new caller there, but I think he's maybe dropped out. Hopefully we'll get him back in. If it's Gordon for Hart Hill, can phone back in, Gordon, and we'll bring you in for the last wee bit of the show. Andy, your guy Ryan Jack, I know he's one of your favourite players, if not your favourite overall.
What makes you think that?
Oh, I know, it's just sometimes the way you talk about him. Sorry, Andy, I'm going to bring... is that Gordon, are you in? Gordon for Hart Hill?
Aye.
Hello, Gordon, how are you? Are you first-time caller?
First-time caller, aye. It's
Right.
Linda, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Gordon. How are you feeling about Wednesday?
Oh, quietly confident, Linda.
Good.
You've got to be.
Yeah.
I just think it's your time.
Absolutely, Gordon.
I just think so, aye. Well, to let you understand, I ken Billy, it's on the show, and I was talking to him on Saturday, like Ken. So, I've been to 3 European Cup games, no finals, no European Cup, but Cup Winners' Cups and whatnot. I was in 62 when we got beat with Fiorentina. I was home and home, right? Well, home and away, like Ken, to tie then. I went in 72, 67 in Hastings, Nuremberg, when we got beat, where with a Duff team, with players that play and never played them, with guys like Jimmy Miller sitting on the bench, then sitting reserve at that time, never got a game, and we're playing with Roger Hind as a centre forward who was a centre half. I just couldn't believe what was happening. But hitched away to the other side of the world nearly. When you hitch it, it's the other side of the world. But other than that, went in 72, went to semi-final in Germany, hitched again, and I just feel this is your time.
Yeah. Gordon, do you get a sort of special feeling about this group of players, just the journey that they've been on?
I see when you see them.
Europe?
I see when you see them playing, and just bring the best out of the supporters to you, Linda. Just bring the best out of the supporters. The last 2 games, dear me, what an atmosphere!
Yeah, absolutely.
You just look at it and you see yourself. It just makes you proud to be a Ranger.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, and Gordon, some of the football that they've played has been up there with the best in that competition,
you're right.
Isn't it?
As I say, Linda, I've seen a lot of teams with Miller, Brandon, Wilson, and so on, through the years. And for me, Jimmy Miller was my hero. You never seen him, obviously. At that time, but now they're all heroes, the way they're playing.
Yeah, absolutely, Gordon.
There's just something different about the team. They just all put themselves toe-to-toe with another team like Ken.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, after the game in Manchester, we were slaughtered that year because we had to play so many games in, 10 days?
Yeah, that's right, Gordon, because we were still going for the league, weren't we?
Yep.
That's right, aye. And we asked the FA to change it. Of course, the usual thing was, one team says no because they wanted to win the league that year, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. They wouldn't move any of the games for us, I suppose.
No.
You know.
Whereas it's different this year. We've got all our big games out the road. We're in the final of the Scottish Cup come Saturday, but Wednesday we will win this day.
Oh,
this is your time.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Gordon. I'm going to bring Andy back in. Andy, I suppose we would love to have been still in a chance we win in the league, but ironically, if we had been, Andy, we might have been forcing players to play. Would have been, would the two of them have gone together? Would you have to have sacrificed one for the other? You don't really know, do you?
No, you don't. As it stands now, it looks like we sacrificed a lead for it because we drew a lot of games after coming back after the big results, didn't we? So if you look at it that way, but look, none of us want to lose the league to them at any time. But if we get the rewards on Wednesday night, we'll accept that. It's only on load. We'll take that back next year. We get a big one really to look at Wednesday. As I've said before, to me it doesn't matter. I know 9 times out of 10, the big clubs with the money and all that are going to get deep into these finals and possibly win it. Obviously, you've seen what happened to Man City, but I've said this for a long time. You're only blood, flesh and bones, and you've started to get the bug of what Rangers are all about, these collected bunch of players. It can go a long way as probing. It's put us in the final, isn't it? By getting Rangers, get it what it means to represent it, play in front of that support. Look at that. You're talking 100,000. There'll be more than that. You can see that we're just going out there now. You know what I mean? It's just that there ain't no club like us. And once the players that come into the club, they've got two problems there. Sometimes the shirt's far too heavy for them. It takes them a long time to adapt. Some of them fall by the wayside. Some of them get it. Like I always told you about that Big John. I told you get it. But listen. There ain't no bigger club in Rangers. Doesn't matter what teams have got money around. There's never ever is going to be. They're never going to ever play under a support like ours. And at the end of the day, we are the team. Nobody else is. We are. Nobody can do that. I think this must be a first for us. We're going to fill a ground with 60,000 bears, and it looks like we got 20,000 in the official game. That's 80,000 there, isn't it? That's 80,000 there before you even talk about the guys that are around the streets and bars and all that. This could be. Oh, come on! I'm feeling it, man. Tell you, feeling it.
Well, we were all calm a minute ago, Andy. Now we're all.
That's what it was. I know they're all out the country, so I thought I'll come in and razzle you up a wee bit, I do it at plot and all that. I do it to plot and all that in the WhatsApp, so you might as well get it as well at Ireland.
That's okay, Andy. We don't mind. Gordon, we're just saying, obviously you were talking there about the previous finals and semi-finals, and obviously Manchester in 2008, we probably thought we would never see it again, but how terrific has it been seeing Rangers' name up there in lights, all the publicity?
It can't be only better, honestly. It can't be only better just to show the other mob who we are, because they get all the publicity. We threw the league away, Linda. Yeah. We threw it away, and they didn't realise that. We dropped points against Ross County, last kick of the ball when they scored to make it 3 each. Dundee United game with 2 penalties denied. Aberdeen game, Aberdeen got a penalty in the last on that game too, which was never a penalty. All these things into consideration. We should be sitting at the top of the league. No, we should have been sitting at the top of the league on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I think so. Yeah. But we've redeemed ourselves because we're there where we should be. And come Wednesday night and come Saturday, we'll have 2 trophies in the cabinet.
Yeah. And definitely, I think we're all of the opinion, Port, that it'll go more than make up for what happened in the league if we can just have 2 terrific nights or days, Wednesday and Saturday. Port.
Aye, definitely. I mean, our clips, their wee party they had at the weekend, that other clips, we're already, I don't know if anybody's the same as me, I didn't even give that any attention because I was so focused on Wednesday night. I didn't even feel like I lost the title. I didn't, because I thought, God, this is the biggest week in my Rangers life. When we go in March to a European Cup final, we lift that trophy. As you said, Linda, Tav walks off that playing the trophy in his arms, and that big red bus gets paraded around Glasgow. And I'll be there, baby, and the streets will be full of blue noses. Glasgow will be blue. Glasgow will be blue. As that trophy's going round the front of that bus, and then we'll just add the Scottish Cup beside it as well. What a week it's going to be, Linda.
Absolutely. And on that note, it's just about the right time to start winding up the show, guys. So it's been a terrific night. So Gordon, thanks for phoning in. Just I'll ask you to shout out.
Thanks for taking my call, Linda. Thank you.
Don't be a stranger, Gordon. Phone back in. It was great
to
hear from you.
Aye.
Good stuff.
We are the people.
Well said, Gordon.
Well said, mate.
Well said, Gordon. Nice hearing for you, pal.
Right, Billy. Cheers, mate.
Take care, big man.
See you later, Billy. Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot, anyway.
Cheers.
Cheers, Linda. Thank you.
Cheers, Gordon.
Ta-da.
Andy, what's your prediction? We never asked you.
What
have you got a bet on?
I have actually. I took him at 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, and I did a 4-2 for us as well, right enough, you know. I just get one mere goal in them. That's all I'm worried about, right enough. For you all on the radio and all looking up and everybody out there in the feed, let's all get this one big float in our minds and we'll bring the same and just look after yourself, and I'll probably catch you tomorrow night, right enough.
Cheers, Andy. Great.
Probably a bit more cherry down me, right enough. But I'll catch you later. But look after yourself. Fantastic. Okay, bye bye.
Cheerio, mate.
See you later, Andy.
See you, Billy.
Aye, listen, pal. 2 more sleeps. That's all we've got. I don't think I'll sleep for the next 2 days, to be honest with you. I'll be lying with one eye open and the other one thinking about what's going to happen on Wednesday night. But I thoroughly enjoyed the show again. And I hope I done the bridge proud with my view for the Billy.
I'm sure you did.
I'm sure he'll give me my 10 out of 10 ratings, and it'll maybe be round about the 4.5. But onwards and upwards. Fantastic show, great callers. Thanks to Port.
Cheers, mate.
And thanks to yourself, Linda, for a brilliant show. And roll this on Wednesday, because I cannot wait. Come on, the Rangers, man. Let's do this.
Billy. Port.
Hi, Linda. Thank you very much for having us, pal. Cheers, Billy, for being on. All the Rangers fans out there, you know, safe journey everybody that's travelling. If you're having a party with your family here, have a great time. And we are the people.
Brilliant, well said. Can I thank all the callers tonight? James from Tennessee, Ross, Blue Star, Ian for YouTube, Alex for Wishaw, Andy for Leeds, and Gordon for Hart Hill, who phoned in for the first time. Hopefully I've not forgotten anybody. Can I thank Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals? Thanks, guys. Thanks so much to Port and Billy for doing the show with me. Great support. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night, and it'll be Port, JFK and Old Bear who'll be continuing to build up to a magnificent night on Wednesday night. This has been Rangers Radio. Look after yourselves. If anybody's on the way to Seville, safe travels, have a fantastic time. And Rangers, please bring that trophy home on Wednesday. Good night, guys. Thanks for listening.
Rangers, we'll be with you. Though the way be hard and long, and in your fight for glory, you will hear the Rangers song. We were with you against Juventus when you put off that marvellous fight, and we followed you to Holland on that long remembered night. is their cry, and they'll know that Glasgow Rangers, they will always do or die. We'll go with you to the final when you walk into the sun, and the whole world will be watching when we show them how it's done. They will see our banners waving, hear the thunder when you score, and the fields out there in Europe, they will hear our voices roar. But should you fail at the final, then no blame will come to you, for we know you'll do your duty when you wear the famous blue. And when you come home to Ireland, you'll find a welcome at your door, and your fans will still be singing